Hello and welcome to the Maple Grove City Report. I'm Dave Kaiser along with Heidi Nelson, Maple Grove City Administrator. Welcome once again, Heidi.
Thank you.
We have a meeting from a Tuesday to talk about Tuesday, September 3rd because of the holiday. It was about a 1-hour meeting, also a short meeting of the EDA, and that relates to the budget, which we'll talk about throughout the program today. But let's get to the agenda from the 3rd. One item that was pulled off consent, and for history buffs, you might remember this. Tell us about that item, a nice commemoration of something that happened 100 years ago.
Yeah, so this was a proclamation for the Women's Suffrage Ratification Centennial Day. So this was 100 years ago that the state of Minnesota ratified women's suffrage. January of 1918, a constitutional amendment allowing women's suffrage was passed in the U.S. House, and then in the September 8 of 1919, the state of Minnesota ratified that. So there will be some activities going on down at the state capitol, I understand, September 8th in honor of this. So information likely found online about that, but this was a proclamation to honor that day.
Very good. So you get a history lesson sometimes with the Maple Grove Report and the Maple Grove City Council meetings.
Yes.
Moving on to special business, a few items that were touched on. One, to start off, a rather fun item.
Yes.
The mayor and his golf team did well supporting the local foundation. Tell us about the trophy presentation.
Yeah, so this was for the North Hennepin Community College President's Cup City Challenge golf event that was held earlier this summer. And so Maple Grove, the mayor played on that team, and they carried the day for Maple Grove. Last year it was Osseo, so now we got the Osseo Maple Grove. So now the battle of the trophy here.
Yes.
So Troy Nellis, on behalf of North Hennepin Community College, was there to present that to the mayor.
Congratulations to the mayor and his team. Moving on to special business, recognition of the fire prevention poster contest winner. This is always a fun event each year, and little Emma was there to receive the award. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so very fun event for us, and we love doing this every year. So Emma Nyquist, and she goes to Basswood Elementary. She was the poster contest winner this year, and it's really fun for them. They have what part of the prize of winning is you get the opportunity to be driven to school in a fire truck. So you get dropped off at school with a fire truck, and then they get a $25 check. So this is a great fire prevention, and it's all about fire prevention education. So the kids make a poster in honor of that. So great recognition for Emma and work for the fire department.
Yeah, congratulations to Emma. And then the fire chief kept the stage. Talk a little bit about the Fire Relief Association. For people that don't know, tell us a little bit about that group, and they do some great things to give money back that supports the fire department. Tell us how that works.
Yeah, so this is really the benefit of their pull tab business that they run primarily up at the Lookout. So Maple Grove Firefighters Relief Association provided contributions to the city, and they do this really on an annual basis. So $30,000 in support of the fire department operations itself, and this is really about kind of the prevention program. So some of the youth education, as well as some of our senior fire alarm programs, those kinds of things. We use these dollars to support those programs. Just about $9,500 to the Fire Explorer post, so that's for youth, really ages 14 to I think 18 that can participate in that, and if they're thinking about a career in the fire service. And then $1,600 to the Police Explorer program, kind of a similar program on the police side, and then $4,000 in support of the K-9 program on the police department side. So great to recognize these contributions of the Relief Association and the work of our firefighters in the community.
Yes, thanks to the chief for the information, and great work to the association. Moving on to the public hearings from the evening, and they all had a similar tone to them because it all relates to Hy-Vee or Hy-Vee operated properties. Tell us what this step in the process is of getting closer to Hy-Vee and some other businesses opening.
Yes, we had a number of public hearings for their liquor licenses. We'll walk through them here. First is Wahlburgers, and Wahlburgers is under construction there at the corner of Elm Creek and Hemlock in the Village Arbor Lakes, kind of that hard corner there. You see that building going up. So this was for on sale Sunday sale intoxicating liquor license for that operation. They don't have a specific date they'll be opening yet, but they're probably looking towards the end of the year, late fall, for that business to be opening. The second one, or the next three, really dealt with the store, the new store at 101 and Bass Lake Road. And so they will have three different things kind of going on from a liquor licensing perspective. They have on sale Sunday sale intoxicating liquor for the Hy-Vee Market Grill Express. So a little bit different than what you might see in like the New Hope or the Brooklyn Park store, more of a food court type of a venue for dining, but then they also have a bar in there, so you could get wine, beer, or a drink there as part of that, and bring food into that area.
Okay.
And then they will have their off-sale wine and spirits, so Hy-Vee Wine and Spirits will be attached to the store there, so off-sale liquor, and then also 3-2 liquor license for the sale of 3-2 beer within the confines of the grocery store. So number of different things going on there, but I think all good signs. I know the grocery store hasn't announced an opening date yet, but they're getting real close. They're Jack Stortenbecker, their new store manager, who has moved up here from the Iowa area to be the new store manager there. He was present last night and got to meet all of the council, and so I know they're moving towards an opening date here, and probably October, late October timeframe. So that's what they're targeting.
I'm sure the word will get out, so keep listening for that date when things open up. Now moving ahead to the budget process, and Heidi and I have talked a lot about what goes into this and some of the work that's happened over the last 4 or 5 months.
Yep.
This is a nice next step in the process. Tell us what happened here in early September and how that equates to the rest of the budget process.
Yep, so we are required to set the preliminary levy by the end of September and provide that information, that notice to Hennepin County, and then notices go out, tax notices go out, kind of in preparation for the final budget hearing of the year, which will be December 2nd. That date was set last night. So where we're sitting with the budget, the 2020 budget will be set at $41.7 million, about a 3.27% increase over 2019 from a budget perspective. That's on the expenditure side. From a levy perspective, let me get my numbers here. The levy increase, given what we set preliminarily last night, is proposed to increase 1.68%. So pretty low levy increase. We're able to offset some of those things with some increased revenues to the city. So really what that reflects is, for the average value home in Maple Grove, a decrease in their city taxes of about 3.82%, or I'm sorry, $3.82, or about 32 cents a month. So not a big significant number, but a decrease really in taxes on the city side for that average value home. And our average value home in Maple Grove is about $325,000. So depending on where you sit on that scale, taxes may go up or down a bit, but we're really trying to hit that market. So that's where we're sitting with that levy this year, 1.68% levy increase and about 3.2% increase on the budget.
And part of the process of the budget has been looking at staffing, and again, I know Maple Grove has kept a pretty tight line on staff, but as the city continues to grow, there are some other needs. So this budget does include 2-3 new staff positions,
Three new positions, really. So 2 new officers for the police department, 1 in our Safe Streets unit, and then 1 in our Drug Task Force unit. And then we're moving a food service coordinator position on the community center side from part-time to full-time. So just kind of augment those hours and some benefit dollars there. So 3 new positions included in that 2020 budget.
All right, so December, the final approval of the budget. Again, information available on the city's website if you want to look at more and find out more about the budget process. Now to community development, things continue to move ahead in that area as the summer turns into fall season, and we've got a few to talk about here. One is Maple Grove Parkway. This is medical office space up near the Grove. Tell us about this project.
Yeah, so this project right next to, so we had the Caribou that was approved right at that hard corner there of Maple Grove Parkway and Hospital Drive, and then next up was the Taco Bell.
Right.
Now this is just to the north of that there again along Hospital Drive. First a dentist office, so it's a multi-tenant building, 2 tenants in that building. Dentist office going in. We anticipate the second space to be filled with a similar user, something complementary, potentially a dentistry specialty or another medical office type user. So pretty straightforward. We worked through some of the parking and circulation issues when Taco Bell came through. So this was kind of a straightforward proposal for this medical office building up there. Yep.
Next item under community development was the Howell Meadows. This is a concept stage plan for 10 lots. Tell us where and what this might involve.
Yeah, so this is kind of out on the west edge of Maple Grove, right along County Road 101, just south of Fieldstone in there. We've had a couple little smaller chunks of land that are, 8 to 10 lot type developments come forward, kind of that infill development that's going on. Had been some larger lots, single family type homes there in the past. So this one, Howell Meadows, we did kind of go back and forth a little bit. There was some intention to connect the this development through a cul-de-sac that came off of Zircon Lane there off of Fieldstone. Through the Planning Commission process and working with the neighbors, the decision or the Planning Commission direction was to cul-de-sac that and not connect that road through. So that was kind of where the Planning Commission landed, and then the council approved that last night. This is just concept stage, so we have some issues to work through there in terms of how pedestrian connections will be made between those two developments, and then some public safety access as well. So you'll see some of those things come back more defined at the development stage plan. But this one did gain approval. It's a 10-lot subdivision out there.
Very good.
Yep.
We'll give you more information as it comes along. Now to some upcoming things happening in the community development area, and one is rather exciting, a partnership with the University of Minnesota
Yes.
that deals with retail. What's going to be happening?
Yeah, so the University of Minnesota Humphrey Institute is going to be having their grad students do a project out here to analyze the Arbor Lakes trade area from a retail perspective, and kind of take a look at where we sit in the marketplace, and kind of what are some retailers that we might not have today that might benefit the area, kind of what the trends are, what we're seeing, what we can do to make sure that our retail areas really stay relevant and vibrant kind of in this changing retail market. So that study's going to get going this fall here with those graduate students, so you'll hear more about that as the study moves forward.
Yeah, I'm sure a number of businesses in town very interested in the results of that. A couple things moving ahead are the Northwest Area Planning and Gravel Planning. So this is moving next to the Planning Commission and then to the Council in October. Where is this process, and what are we going to be looking at when it comes to Planning Commission?
Yeah, so we are wrapping up our master planning activities. These are kind of our last two that we have left to bring before the council. So we've been working up in the Northwest area. We had kind of go back and work a little bit more with Three Rivers Park District in terms of their trail alignments up there and the Hindu Society. So we've been working through that. That caused a little bit more time to the process, but that'll be coming forward. And then with the gravel mining area south. So really primarily focused on the area south of Elm Creek Boulevard, east of the fountains there, and what that area might look like, how those road connections might fit out as that area continues to develop. So those will be coming forward to Planning Commission and then to City Council, and all that information is available on our website, kind of if people want to take a look at what those plans look like.
And as it moves to council, we'll have an update for you here. Last item under community development was something that solar fans might be interested in. You've got some research going into environmental sustainability, and solar is a piece of that?
Yeah, so we have been looking at, there's a number of cities around the metro area, large suburbs such as Maple Grove, that have been doing solar initiatives on a city, for the city facilities. So a lot of solar on roofs. We have a lot of buildings with big flat roofs, that kind of a thing. Sometimes even on ground installations over water treatment plants, that kind of a thing. Right. And the long-term return on these is really, really significant. And because of the third-party investor environment right now, there's not a lot of upfront capital cost for the city. Return is slow to, less on the front end, but grows as the years go by, as that capital investment is paid off. So opportunity for us to shave off some of our operating costs over the years here with that solar. So we've been out to visit Brooklyn Park's recent installations and got a sense of how they did that on some rooftops and some ground installations. And so kind of taking the next step here with the council to talk with them about what a project like that in Maple Grove might look like and what the benefits of that would be. So that on September 16th, and then also talking a little bit with the council about our code enforcement program and the potential implementation of some an administrative fine program. A lot of times our code enforcement issues, the venue for final resolution of some of those ends up in the courts, and that's not always the greatest way to resolve those issues. And so a lot of cities have implemented a tool like administrative fines. So that's something we're going to be having some discussion with the council about.
Very good.
Yep.
Let's move ahead to Public Works and Engineering, and we have a number of roadway projects. People are happy that they're getting completed. Give us a list of some roads that are now done and beautiful.
So Arbor Lakes Parkway reopened to traffic before the Labor Day weekend, so that was really nice. A little bit more striping work to be done out there, but that road is pretty much done. 73rd Avenue south of 694 there off of Hemlock, that road is pretty much wrapped up. That road transitioned from 2 lanes in either direction to more that 3-lane concept through that area. Pretty high good traffic volume that moves through there, so this provides that turning lane option for folks. And there is some opportunity for parking there on either side. It is a good speed road, so that's something that people want to pay attention to. But 73rd Avenue coming to a close, and then most of our street reconstruction projects out there are wrapping up over the next few weeks. So these final weeks of summer here and first weeks of fall, the weather has been very cooperative to get things finished up. So those projects are looking good.
Final note from Ken Ashfield was related to grant applications.
Yep.
Seems like an ongoing process
It
just
is.
to stay ahead of the game
Yep.
for some of these bigger projects. Tell us what projects they're looking at.
Yeah, so we submitted our federal grant application to the BUILD program earlier this summer, and so we're still awaiting information about the awards on that, and that'll come probably late October, early November timeframe. As you recall, we went out to DC late July to advocate for that grant application. And then we'll be submitting this week, it's called a TED grant application, which stands for Transportation Economic Development. And of course, both of these are for the completion of Trunk Highway 610.
Right.
So, prepared that application, feel like we have a really great story to tell up there about not only the regional nature of the improvements that need to be completed up there, but also the economic development impacts or the opportunities that exist there in that 610 corridor. So we just keep chasing it, and lo and behold, every once things start to fall. So we already have the $7 million through the regional solicitation, which are federal funds that come down through Met Council. So cobbling all these different funding sources together, pretty soon you get a project. So
Very good.
We're going to keep at it.
And speaking of that project and one other that is going before the state, you have a special tour coming to town. As we're taping this, is coming up this Friday, September 6th. Tell us who's coming to town and why this is so important for Maple Grove.
Yeah, so this is the House Capital Investment Committee that's doing their statewide bonding tour. They're going to be coming back through Maple Grove on Friday afternoon, and we'll have the opportunity to talk with them about our two state bonding initiatives this year, both the Trunk Highway 610 completion project. So we'll take an opportunity, the bus will stop up there on that 610 bridge, and we'll be able to kind of show them what really is the incomplete nature of the interchanges out there at 610 and 94, and the need to connect 610 out to County Road 30 to provide a reliever to Maple Grove Parkway and really complete that roadway as it was intended. So good opportunity to have them see that from the highway. And then we'll be headed over to the North Metro Range, the law enforcement training facility there, to talk about that expansion project and what we have programmed there. So quick in and out. They'll be with us from about 3:30 to 4:30, and then they're off to St. Paul.
They have a busy day, I'm
off
sure.
to their weekend. So we're ready to receive them and tell them our story, and that all, of course, is in preparation for the 2020 session, which will get underway in February.
Very good.
Yep.
Final note from the meeting on the 3rd was the EDA had a quick meeting, and again, this is another part of the budget process. And tell us what they talked about, very similar to what they've done in past years.
Yeah, so we levy $150,000 on an annual basis. It's been the same flat levy since the late 90s, and it's really in support of our housing programs at the city. So that hasn't changed, and they needed to set that preliminary levy, again, just like the general fund levy, by the end of September.
So with that, 59-minute meeting coming up in the beginning of September. Next meeting is on September 16th. We'll remind you of that in just a minute. But let's hop around town to some other things that are happening. Season is changing, kids back in school, and you have a note for people that might be out and about. Be careful out there.
Yeah, so a lot of kids walk to school. A lot of kids are out in our crosswalks, and then the school buses with the stop arms down as they're picking up kids. I know there's been some local metro area media coverage of those issues, and I think just really getting folks to put those phones away. We went hands-free here in August, and so really getting people to pay attention when they're out on the roads. A lot of kids walking to school in our crosswalks. School buses stopping frequently, so we really want people to pay attention as they're moving through Maple Grove.
And some more information about that is in the fall newsletter from Maple Grove, which just came out. A lot of activities and events to sign up for and read about, but also another article about this very topic.
Yep. So one of our school resource officers, Brad Holzer, Police Detective Brad Holzer-Lind, contributed for that, and so just really focusing on public safety as we get back to school here, and keeping people aware of that.
So sign up for some of those classes as well. You'll find in that newsletter. Also, the academies, police reserves, lots of opportunities in the city of Maple Grove. Let's talk State Fair now
Yep.
that it is over. We don't have numbers yet. They're still
No.
putting those together, but it went well and the place was busy. Tell us
Yeah.
about the work out there at
Yes.
the Transit Center.
Yeah, so we provided bus service to the State Fair for the weekends,
Right.
both Friday and Saturdays, and then of course on Labor Day as well. And with the fair numbers where they were, I'm anticipating the bus numbers are going to be significant as well. And it works really well for folks. I heard from a number of folks that took the bus from Maple Grove to the fair and really enjoyed it and found it to be, an easy way to get back and forth to the fair and cost effective too.
Yes.
$5 per person, and parking at the fair. I think the
Right.
cheapest you can find if you get there early is $15.
Yes.
And most, I heard
You
people
avoid the
paid upwards
hassles.
to 40
Yes,
to park
I
down at the
know.
fair.
Yes.
So I think it proves to be a really great option for folks getting to the fair.
All right, hopefully next time we get together, we'll have some numbers for
Yep.
you. There is a job opening in the city of Maple Grove. We
Yes.
had mentioned the person that was leaving a few shows ago, and this
Yeah.
is the opportunity to apply for that position. What is the position?
Yeah, so this is our economic development manager position. Carrie Willie moved out of state, and so this position has been posted. It's open through Monday, September 16th. Applications can be submitted on our website, but we're really we're looking for an enthusiastic go-getter with great experience and background in the world of economic development. We have a lot of opportunity here in Maple Grove and a lot of existing business that we really want to be in tune with our business retention and expansion program, and then not only existing business but the growth of new business coming to town as well. So great opportunity, great position. If you want to do economic development, Maple Grove's the great place to do it. And so if you're thinking about that kind of an opportunity, check us out on our website.
Speaking of business expansion, there was a great event that we talked about the last time in preview of it, but
Yep.
the Teleflex grand opening. Tell us
Yeah.
about their event and how they continue to grow in the city.
Yeah, so Teleflex, they created it's called the Epic MedTech Center in their facility. They're right off of Sycamore. Teleflex bought out Cardiovascular Solutions there, and so they've created quite a little campus over there off of Sycamore, just due east of 494 there. Great facility, so it's really kind of an incubator lab for the technology that Teleflex works on, which is really the catheters that they use in various medical procedures. So a scientist or an entrepreneur can come in, biomedical engineer can come in with an idea and really kind of take that idea through the design process. Teleflex works on the production of those types of products, and so it's really kind of a great incubator lab for that type of work. And they was great to be able to attend their event and hear them talk about how they really feel like they're kind of at the center of the med tech industry there, and a great resource. They have people come from all over the world to visit their facility there, and now especially that they have this med tech center there. So great addition to the community and more growth in the med tech industry.
Fantastic,
Yep.
great asset to the city. Earlier we talked about the Fire Relief Association, some of the fine work they do and what the money goes towards, and here's one of those things right here. This is the Senior Smoke Alarm Program.
Yep.
What is the program? How can people get involved?
Yeah, so we provide service that helps Maple Grove residents age 60 and over make sure their smoke alarms are up to date and working properly. It provides residents, also provides assistance to residents with special needs. And then the smoke alarms are provided at no cost to homeowners who meet the income guidelines. So just give a call up to City Hall, speak to somebody in the fire department, and they can get you hooked up with this service.
We have been talking over the past month or so about the community center and the needs assessment there as it has aged 20 years plus, hard to believe. Tell us where we are in the process right now, and there are some ways residents can get involved both through the mail and online. How does that work?
Yeah, so we held an open house last week. Good turnout, about 75, 80 folks came out to that session, and so we're collecting feedback through every time we have outreach here and talking with stakeholders. But one part of the process that's going forward right now is a survey. So if you receive a survey in the mail from the city about, or from the park board and the city from about the community center. We really encourage you to respond to that. It shouldn't take too much of your time. It's a paper survey. I think a lot of the survey companies are moving away from calling you on your home phone, as less and less people have home phones. So our goal is to get responses from about 350 to 400 people to make that data statistically significant. We also have the same survey available on our website that you can elect to go and take that survey. We'll be keeping those data sets separate just to make sure that our data from the mail survey, the random survey is good statistically, but also what we find, I think, when we did the community survey is sometimes the online survey and then the random survey the data sometimes end up mirroring each other.
Right.
So opportunity to provide input that way if you didn't get the mail survey, but if you did get the mail survey, we really ask you to take a few moments and complete that. It'll help us in our process.
Very good.
Yep.
Concert on the Lawn is coming up. It's hard to believe how long we've been talking about this. And
I know.
It seemed like September was so far away, but it's
I know, here we are.
Give us a quick preview again. It's coming up fast.
Yep.
Who's going to be there?
A week from this Saturday,
Yep.
so Saturday, September 14th. We'll kick it off with Kat Perkins, then Four on the Floor, New Power Generation, and then the Gear Daddies will be kind of the end of the night feature. Gates open at 4 o'clock with performances starting at 5, food trucks, cold beverages. So tickets are still available. They're only $25 each.
Yep.
So I think we've sold, I think, around 1,200 tickets so far.
Fantastic.
So there's capacity up
big
to
venue.
maybe 2,000 or so.
Okay.
So still opportunity to come on out for that concert.
Yeah, get your tickets.
Yep.
Hop on out there. Another great area in town that's seeing a lot of activity is Fernbrook Fields. We had the grand
Yep.
opening for the Fields. How is the process moving ahead to get some teams out there and people playing?
They've been very busy
I
up
bet.
there at Fernbrook Fields. And so football, of course, is in full swing right now. And then there's some fall soccer going on as well. So Maple Grove Parks and Rec and Maplebrook Soccer Club are hosting the open soccer every Sunday night from 7 to 9 through the end of October. And it's free to play, open to all ages, and they just kind of set up teams with whoever shows up there. So if you drive by, you're probably going to see mainly the football teams out there right now, and then soccer also having some activity.
Another great community resource. The community center pools, again, it's that time of the year where a little maintenance has to be done. What's happening inside and outside?
So the indoor pools are closed. They'll be open on Monday, September 23rd. So we're closed here for a couple weeks to do some maintenance. We are doing some replacement of some flooring in the family room area and the locker rooms area. So some of that kind of bigger maintenance work is being done as well. And of course the outdoor pool is closed for the season. So, but a lot of things still to do at the community center with the indoor playground, gymnasium, skating rinks, trails, those kinds of things.
All right, and in the parking lot of the community center, you don't want to forget the farmers market. So our last note is the market continues on, doing very well. Produce changes as the season moves along.
Yes.
When should people shop?
Yeah, so every Thursday we'll continue here through October. Market goes through October 24th.
Okay.
Hours in September are still 3 to 7. We'll trim them up in October from 3 to 6.
Okay.
But lots of great produce still available. So we encourage people to continue to come to the farmers market as we enter into the fall.
Yep, get out there and take advantage of some of the great local produce. Heidi, thank you very much again for
You're
the
welcome.
information. Let's take a look at that next council meeting date that we mentioned. It is Monday, September 16th, 7:30 at the Government Center. Phone number at the bottom of the screen. And we mentioned quite a bit throughout the program about things on the city's website, budget information, also the new job that is opening, and other things through the fire department and Park and Rec, maplegrovemn.gov, the place to find it. That's all for today's Maple Grove Report. I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us.